Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are diving into a pragmatic 12-month blueprint specifically for C-suite leaders who are navigating AI transformation across massive global footprints of 25,000 employees or more. We're going to unpack the Intelligent Organization, or TIO, implementation guide and figure out exactly how you can safely scale artificial intelligence without completely breaking your organization in the process. Look, we've got to start by confronting a massive roadblock, what we call the large enterprise paradox. It goes like this. If you centralize AI, you bottleneck everything and basically stall the company. But if you swing the other way and completely decentralize it, well, you create a dangerous, uncoordinated nightmare of shadow IT. You'll end up with business units buying a dozen different tools, zero shared standards, and quite frankly, a massive compliance disaster just waiting to happen. So how on earth do you balance this? The fix here isn't just compromising, it's adopting a completely new operating reality. As the guide puts it, federation, local autonomy, shared standards, and enterprise coherence must become the system. That is our anchor for pulling this off at massive scale. You do not need a central AI program trying to micromanage every single project. What you actually need is shared direction, crystal clear decision rights, and a learning rhythm that lets each region or function move quickly and safely on its own. Standing still? Absolutely not an option. But moving recklessly? That destroys trust in a heartbeat. The reality of modern leadership is that these tools are spreading like wildfire and are easier to access than ever. Yet absorbing that technology productively and safely at scale remains incredibly elusive. The takeaway is that the entire enterprise, not just your IT department, has to evolve together. To make this super concrete, here is our agenda for the explainer. We just hit the large enterprise paradox, so next we'll walk through the 4 foundational phases for your first 12 months. Setting the enterprise mandate, making strategic choices, building that federated portfolio rhythm, and finally, proving real value. All right, let's jump right into phase 1, the enterprise mandate. The key here, start with business intent, not technology.
So it's month 1. Do not, I repeat, do not start by picking a software vendor. Put the tech down for a second. You have to sit down with the CEO and the board and ask this stark question. What must this enterprise become over the next 3 to 5 years? You have to identify exactly where growth, competition, cost, or operational complexities are currently straining your global footprint. Because think about it, if you're trying to aggressively grow market share, your AI strategy is going to look completely different than if you're trying to drastically slash operational costs.
And just as importantly, you have to ask, what are you unwilling to lose? Before you deploy a single model, leadership has got to define their non-negotiables. We're talking about securing public trust, transparency, equity, and accountability. Especially if you're in the public sector or a highly regulated industry, the stakes go way beyond just efficiency. You have to know exactly what trust metrics you are actively protecting while you innovate.
Moving right along to phase 2, make strategic choices. This is where we turn that broad ambition into specific tactical action.
Now we're in months 2 and 3, and we really need to cure the disease of having a million disconnected pilots. The golden rule here is direction before action. Your strategy must be specific enough to explicitly guide trade-offs, funding, sequencing, and shared standards. Honestly, if your strategy doesn't help a business unit leader decide what not to do, then it isn't a strategy yet. So by day 45, executives must rapidly answer 5 cascading strategic questions. Number 1, ambition and intent. 2, where to play. 3, how to win. That's your secret sauce. 4, required capabilities. And 5, management systems. You have to define exactly which customers, markets, and services matter most, and specifically how AI and work redesign will strengthen your competitive edge. These answers are absolutely non-negotiable to build your first enterprise scorecard.
Which brings us to phase 3, federated portfolio rhythm, balancing shared guardrails with local speed.
During months 2 to 4, things get real. This is a make or break phase where your transformation either becomes a genuine operating reality or drifts into what we call governance theater. You need to build a system where the central center sets the standards, decision rights, and expectations, acting like a main gear that meshes perfectly with local execution. It keeps the local business units synchronized without slowing them down. Setting up this rhythm means forming a TIO's steering committee, clearly defining federated decision rights, launching maturity assessments, and aiming for visible accountability rather than just adding bureaucracy. It's a lightweight but deeply disciplined system.
Every single agenda item must result in a decision or an action. If you're just sitting around reporting status, you are wasting valuable time. Looking at the overall timeline, you can see how this all stacks up. Month 0 to 1 is all about the mandate. Months 1 to 3 are your strategic choices. Months 2 to 4 build that portfolio rhythm. It's a rapidly ticking clock, setting a rock-solid foundation for the ultimate goal, execution and proving value across the remaining 3 quarters of the year. And that leads us perfectly into Phase 4, Prove Real Value. It is time to stop planning and start moving. From month 3 onward, the endless planning phase is over. The strategy is set, the governance rhythm is humming along, and now actual AI use cases need to flow. You have to establish evidence gates and track KPIs rigorously. Basically, you need a factory capability that proves value and reduces risk via strict measurement. Every single AI use case must prove its worth on a performance dashboard before you even think about scaling it across 25,000 employees. And I love this point. Run a focused portfolio of priority AI use cases rather than a 1,000-point experiment map. This is crucial. Doing a few highly strategic things exceptionally well is vastly superior to launching a scattered barrage of disjointed pilots. A 1,000-point experiment map might look like you're innovating, but it's really just chaos. Focus your resources on the use cases that actually move the needle for your business. Ultimately, federation ensures both enterprise scale and localized agility. By following this 12-month blueprint, you actually solve that large enterprise paradox we talked about at the beginning. You give local teams the freedom to run fast and adapt while keeping the global enterprise secure and coordinated. You transform managers into the actual engine of change, guided by clear standards. So I'm going to leave you with one final, incredibly provocative thought to take straight back to your board. What will we stop doing if evidence shows it is not creating value? Setting up the system is one thing, right? But having the courage to kill what doesn't work, that is true accountability. As you build out your AI capabilities, make sure you are just as disciplined about stopping failed experiments as you are about scaling the winners. That's how a distributed enterprise truly transforms.